That's a better.
I can't do it, bro. I can't let myself go, man. Not yet.
Man, I feel. I need to get back to it. I ain't been like that. All right, go ahead and get us out here. We on live. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's episode of Full Court Press with Coach J. I have two of my friends on with me, none other than Damien Wilkins and Richard Jeter. They both played in the NBA. If you got questions, drop them down below. We'll take questions, but I'm going to start them out with something funny, and then we're going to go from there. This is a question for both of y'all. Then whoever wants to go first can answer. As a player, what was that first butt whooping you took and realized, like, okay, I got to go put that work in for this game. I'm going to be good at it. It don't matter. Give me, what do y'all go? Don't matter.
I'll tell you a story, man. And I ain't even talked to him about this, but he was a little bit younger than me. And I went to a gym and worked out with Josh Smith for the first time when he was in high school. He was an 11th grader. And I'm in junior college. And it was the first time I seen anybody like jump the way he did. But he, we was doing one-on-one full court, and he just took off so far, man. And I was crazy athletic before my knee injury.
Right.
It was like the first time I was like, man, yeah, and they already, he was the number one player in the country. And it kind of like gave me a perspective of, okay, some other ones out there that's pretty special, and even if they're a little younger than me. But that was the first time I kind of was like, man, okay, this is what I'm going to have to kind of face. But like as a pro, it was probably, Kareem Rush. He kicked my butt in practice. Pretty bad, man. He was a scorer.
What you got, baby?
Oh, man. Shoot. Ain't a whole lot of people hand me no ass whooping, bro. I would say when I was in college at UGA, two things. I was in college at UGA. We played against Western Carolina when they had Kevin Martin.
Ooh. Yeah. He was a different animal, boy, at Western.
Like the way he was scoring. I mean, like on our scouting report, it was like, look, this is their guy. Like this dude averaging like 30. And I'm like, ain't nobody coming in here from Western Carolina getting 30 on me. Like,
right.
No, it's not happening. He ended up with 40.
You're right. He didn't get 30. He had 40.
He ended up with 40.
Man.
All like anywhere you wanted it from. Anywhere you like, everything I took away, he had something else for it. Like I crowded him, took away his airspace to make him drive. He drove and won. I gave him a step. He just was raising up, shooting threes like deep. He even caught it on the block one time, and I'm like, I know I got the advantage here because he ain't but 100 pounds soaking wet. He was pivoting and stepping back, fading away. I was like, man,
I'm about to that footwork.
Yeah, I'm about to foul out because I'm not getting all this. Like, and then I would say my time in the NBA, my first time playing against Tracy McGrady. Like, because I played against T-Mac in high school, his senior year. And he was a dog then, but like, then like it was high school. So like I could go back at him. Like I was a man too. But in the league, it's different. Like I wasn't a man on my team. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't running plays for me. So bro, the first time having to like looking up to the dude, he every bit of 6'10" and can jump. And however you want it on the court, he was gonna give it to you. Like he had handle, he had it all, bro. Every time we faced him, it was trouble for him. Like he was probably the hardest dude I had to guard early on. Like when I knew that was my introduction, like yo, this is a different level.
Wow.
Well, my introduction, I'll talk about me for a second, was I graduated from Cal State Fullerton. I walk in the gym. I'm playing with the college kids in the Atlanta Pro-Am. And the first game, my second game into the Pro-Am, I get introduced to D. Wilt. So that was like, they was like, yeah, we playing D. Wilt. I was like, who is that? They was like, that's Gerald's son, Damien nephew. I was like, I don't care about who that is. Until he scored about 4 buckets in a row, and I was like, okay, I got to bring the A game. So we went back and forth in that game. That was one of my introductions. And then with you, I met Rich. We were playing on the same team, or something happened, and I said something. I called him a scrub, and he was like, "I'm a what? Hold on." And he went for like 10, 12 straight, and I was like, okay, well, maybe he's not a scrub. Let me change that. Let me take that back. Because he gave me that look like, you know who I am?
You basically you ain't respect nobody.
No, I had no respect for nobody. No, I ain't had none for nobody.
You ain't respect nobody.
Like, because I remember me and you went to play. We went to play in that tournament. We had to play Josh Smith first.
Yeah.
I was like, you looked at me. You was like, young fella, let's go. It was like, I don't care about who these people are. Let's play.
Yeah.
But so, Wilk, I'm gonna talk to you first. Tell the people what it was like to be the son of an NBA legend and the nephew of an even bigger NBA legend.
Man, it's funny. It's funny because I didn't grow up around my dad and my uncle. My dad and my mom, they never married. They had me when they were 16 years old. And like once my dad left, like he was gone. It was just me and my mom for a long time. Right. A lot of people just don't know that. They think I just grew up when I was born. I was in NBA arenas all the time. Like, nah, like I was living in projects. I was 13 years old in the backwoods of North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Like I was coming to Atlanta just to visit my grandmother, who my dad and my uncle's mom. Like, so the only time I was in the city was in the summer. But like growing up, it was crazy because I never knew the enormity of it. I never knew how big of a deal that was because that wasn't my reality. Like, so once I moved in with my dad, I turned 14 years old. I moved in with him. At the time, he was living in Vancouver because he was playing for the Grizzlies. And we moved here. Me and my stepmom was like, she was like, I'm not raising the kids in Canada. Like, so we're going to go to where we know is familiar. So they came here. We came here. I went to high school in North Georgia my freshman year, but I was starting on the varsity as a freshman. So at that point, like I'm like, this ain't what's up. Like, it ain't even no competition, and I'm a freshman. Like, so, I moved and went to prep school, but the family dynamic of it never really, they weren't the cause of anything that I was doing in terms of my career. Like my uncles worked for the Hawks forever, and I haven't been signed to the Hawks recently, or no time like in the past recently, like at all. Like my dad, he had his connections and everything, but they never. We all went to the draft together. I didn't get drafted because they were there. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, growing up in that family, it did two things. I was thankful for it and what basketball did for our family, but at the same time, it made me develop a chip on my shoulder because all I wanted to do my whole career was prove to people that, like, look, stop calling me by their name. Like, I want my own name, like, to the fact where I almost changed my number. My family number is 21. I changed my number a couple of years because I didn't even want to wear 21. Right. I just wanted to be my own person so bad that it just drove me. Like, it kept me in the gym. Probably longer than I should have been in the gym. Like, I was overworking to prove that, like, I got this on my own. You know what I'm saying? So that was the dynamic for me in terms of growing up in the family, like my family like that.
Rich, what made you get into basketball? Like that can go for both of y'all. Well, obviously it kind of came a little natural, but what made y'all get into basketball and really decide that, okay, I want to play this game and get good at it?
I didn't like basketball at first. My first love was baseball and football. And I remember my dad used to always try to make me watch these games. I'm like, man, what was I watching? The Kareem and Magic, man, these dudes, I just wasn't really into it until I got to high school and I started getting taller. And as you get taller, man, they come from them legs. You kind of feel it, a little bit different. And I started, just hooping, man. Started playing and started gaining confidence. I was really athletic. I couldn't shoot it all. I worked on it hard. My AU coach made me work on it, and it just kind of came gradually. The more success I had, the more I started loving, like the benefits from it. And I was like, man, this might be something I want to do. So I just started taking off hooping and became a gym rat.
So for you, let's talk about, because a lot of people probably don't know your route. You were the leading scorer in junior college 2 years in a row, and you actually got drafted from junior college. Tell me when did it become a reality? D. Wilk, you can answer this after he does. Tell me when it became a reality that you knew you were going to make the NBA.
I actually went undrafted.
Okay.
Yep, I went undrafted, and everybody, I could have went anywhere in the country out of junior college. But I had got word that, I had a chance to get signed, whether I got drafted or not. So I already knew the odds were against me. Like, I came in a class that was real tough, like Melo, D. Wade. That class was so deep at my position. But, once after the draft, they hit my agent up. And actually the first team I was with was LA before I got traded to Memphis. But it was, I was just grateful because it was a lot of stuff that I wasn't used to as far as like first class, because I didn't have that lifestyle of like playing D1 and private planes and all this stuff. So a lot, just everything, just the quality, it was a big jump, from playing in small gyms and also as a player, being a man on my team, dropping 30 night after night to riding a pine, practicing really, really hard, being a good locker room guy, and just playing my role, which I mean, if it wasn't for that, I mean, I wouldn't be where I'm at now, you know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
When did it become a reality for you?
Shoot, man. Man, let me think about that. When did it come a reality? You know what? In high school, I went to St. John's Prospect Hall Prep School my sophomore year. And my coach was Stu Vetter. He coached Kevin Durant, too, at Montrose Christian.
Oh, yeah.
And when I went there to school with him, my sophomore year of high school, coming from here, he was like, you got every tool. But he was like, you just need to sharpen it. Like, all your tools are dull. That's what he used to say to me. He said, you just need to sharpen your tools. So, like, the year I got there, I went through that year and I had a pretty good year. Considering the competition I was playing against, I had never played against that type of competition before. And in my junior years when I really took off, because I spent the whole summer there working with him and the coaching staff. And then it was like midway through the season, he looked at me, he was like, I got college coaches coming to watch us practice tomorrow, but you shouldn't pay attention to that. And I was like, well, why are you telling me? What you mean, why not? He was like, right now you on pace. He's like, you probably shouldn't go to college. And that's when I had a team. On my team, I had Jason Capel on that team too.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, Jason was like the top 3 senior in the class, in his class. Like, so he was like hovering above all of us. And he wasn't telling Jason that. And he was like, I'm telling you. Like, he even said to me, he said, I wouldn't tell Jason this. Jason needs to go to college. He was like, you have a chance if you want. And I'm just putting that bug in your ear. And at that moment, when I was like, and I started looking at things differently, like, okay, like I must be on the right track or I must be on pace here. So I just had it in my mind that since that moment, like, I want to play in the NBA. Even me going to the draft, I didn't get drafted either. I was at the draft though, because I got an invite, but I didn't get drafted. Like, at that moment, my agent was like, we going overseas. Like, I got all these deals on the table from overseas. Just pick one. I was like, I'm not picking none of them because I'm playing in the NBA. Like, I'm not going overseas. So if you don't want to work with me no more, if you need to get on the phone with NBA teams, whatever the case may be, in 9 months, I told him that in 9 months, I'm going to be in the NBA. And lo and behold, 9 months, I was playing in the NBA. I wasn't overseas. I wasn't, none of that. So that mindset for me started my junior year in high school. It took until my junior year in high school for me to even start being like, man, I can make it to the NBA. Prior to that, it was like, I hope I do.
Right. Question that came up on Facebook, they said, Damien, who was your first agent? And Richard, who was your first agent?
Mark Bartelstein.
Rich?
David Lee.
David Lee, okay.
Yep.
So, D-Wilk, I know one series that really made you real famous. Like, I'm not gonna say it made you famous, but a lot of people really knew who you were, and I think it made a name for yourself. You were in Seattle and y'all were playing the Spurs, and you just went crazy in that series. And I don't know if y'all won the series. I can't really remember.
We lost in 6. That was my rookie year.
Yeah, you just came out on fire. Talk about that series and what it meant playing against, 3 future Hall of Famers there. Well, Tim Duncan's already in the Hall of Fame now. Talk about that series and what it was like knowing that you were out there doing your thing night in and night out.
Well, if you know the history of it, like that was really my first time playing. Like prior to that, I wasn't even dressing out. I had spent out of 82 games in the regular season, I think I dressed for 19 games. Other than that, like I was in street clothes. So when the playoffs started, fortunately for me, and obviously, like I don't wish nobody get hurt, but it was like 3 people in our rotation that got hurt. Other than that, so I had to play. Rashad got hurt. Vladimir Redmatovich got hurt. And obviously, like I don't wish nobody get hurt. Somebody else got hurt. Like 3 people in our rotation that got hurt. And so I had to play. Is it a delay? Y'all hear a delay?
Rich, turn your volume down on your other device. Go ahead. Now it should be good because here's you talking back.
Yeah. So Vladimir Redmanovich got hurt. Rashard Lewis got hurt, and Antonio Daniels was hurt for the first game of that series.
AD.
So I had to play. Nate put me in the game, and he pulled me to the side before I checked in, and it was like, "Look, all I want you to do is guard Manu Ginobili and make his job tough." And that's when Manu Ginobili was like what James Harden is today.
Yeah, still fresh and young. He was young then.
He was what James Harden is today. Only reason why he ain't score like James Harden scored, obviously, like there's an athletic difference, but the systems are different. But if you would have put the ball in Manu Ginobili's hands like they do with James Harden, he would be averaging 30 at that time.
Yes.
Easy.
Yes.
And I was like, okay. So once you out there on the court, Rich, you know too, Jay. Like once you out there, you out there. Like
you out there.
You out there. So I'm playing defense. I'm focusing on defense, but they doubling Ray Allen. So the ball coming to me. And I'm like, shit, I ain't got nothing to lose at this point.
You letting it go.
Yeah, like I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. And then, with every shot that go in, you get more and more confident, more and more comfortable. Right. And I had fresh legs because, like I said, I ain't played for 19 games. Bro, I just took off. In every game was like that. Radmatovich came back and he wasn't even playing like that. The coach was like, Damien. And it just kind of happened, bro. Like I was just caught a good groove at that time. And you know how it is in the NBA, bro. You just need one good playoff series. One good moment. You know what I'm saying? Like just one good moment in front of a lot of people. And that's what happened. I was averaging like 13 in a playoff series as a rookie. So and I was up. My deal was up. Like I was a free agent.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
I was a free agent. So it all worked like perfectly.
It did, because you came on and then you got your deal to be extended. I don't know I can't remember exactly where you went after that, but I know it was.
I signed with Portland after that. I signed with Portland and Seattle matched it. Like And when we went to Portland to do that negotiation, I'm like, ain't no way Seattle gonna match this offer. Like, it's no way they're gonna match it because they got to pay Ray Allen the next year and they got to pay Rashard Lewis the year after that. So I'm like, they're not gonna match this deal. Portland game, I couldn't even believe. Like, I was like, damn, like Portland, you swinging for the fences, ain't like cool. This was like the second day of free agency. Like, I was in Portland the second day on July 2nd with my agent, and I'm riding around in the car with the coach at the time, like who was Nate McMillan, who he left Seattle at the end of that year and went to Portland. Man. So he was my coach. Like, he was like, nah, like, we coming to get you. What you want? That's what he asked me. What do you want? And my agent said, based on his numbers, we want this. And they was like, bet. It wasn't even like a back and forth.
It was just straight like that.
Straight like that. And then I signed it, sent it to the league on like a Tuesday. On Wednesday, Seattle matched. They didn't even take the whole 7 days. When the next day they matched it, Ray Allen called him, was like,
"Dang, Ray,
they ain't let you go." Ray said, "No."
We keeping him. I was like, cool. Like, it was a win-win for me because I came from undrafted minimum, and at the time, rookie minimum. Then, like, what, Jeter? It was like
350, 344.
Yeah, like three. Something like, not that, you know, I'm not scuffing at 300,000, but like, you know, in terms of like what it is now. In terms of what you got.
Yeah, in terms of what it is now, in terms of what you got. Because you got cats going to the G League now with 500 G's.
You know what I'm saying? So that was my experience, bro. My rookie year. Like, after that, all from San Antonio. Yeah. All from that series. Like, it had nothing to do with what I did in those other games because I ain't do nothing. I ain't play a lot. I was coming in if we was blowing somebody out or we were getting blown out. Like, but that playoff series right there was when it kind of just happened.
Rich, let's talk about you for a minute. Talk about that first experience in the league. There, it was like, man, I'm really in the league. Like, what am I about to do?
Shoot, I had to guard TJ Ford, man. I had to guard TJ Ford. You talking about the fastest dude, one side to the other, kind of like how what's your boy name? If I could relate to
Felton.
Who?
Raymond Felton?
Nah. Gosh, I was about to say Rozier, but not him. Brain freeze. But anyways, fastest dude, you know, just he wasn't a great shooter, but he just still knew how to get past you, and he could pass that thing. And then if you switch, they had Tim Thomas, Desmond Mason, Lynn Greer. I had to guard Lynn Greer, quick butt, man. You know, Michael Redd. That was a tough first experience for me, man. And I didn't play a lot. I didn't get much playing time, but it felt like it was longer than what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, they was running around on the ball screens on me heavy, man. But I was like, you know, they were a veteran team. TJ was still young, but everybody else was pretty much vetted out. And, you know, I learned a lot that year from James Posey. You know, Wesley Person was on that team. Michael Dickerson, remember him? Michael Dickerson. You know, those are my vets, man. I spent the most time with Bo Outlaw, but they, you know, I was a little defeated mentally after that. And, you know, Hubie just picked me up, man. And, you know, I was thinking I was going to go home. And, you know, that was my first experience as a pro where I was like, man, okay, I'm really here. These guys, you know, it ain't like how it was in college. Like, you got to bring it. Everybody got crazy hops. Everybody, if you leave somebody open, it's going to be a bucket, you know. So, and then that court was just so much longer. That 3-ball was longer, you know, just a whole lot. You got to be in shape. Like, it was tough.
It's different.
Yeah, it's different.
It's different, man. Like,
and that crowd too, man. Like,
it's different.
I never made it to play on the main stage, but I played in the D League for the LA team when they were the LA Defenders. And the first time I walked in Staples Center to play, I was like, yo, that court seems a mile away down there. But since we're talking about matchups, you were talking about matchups outside of like Kobe and the T-Max, who would you say was your toughest person to guard? Not, like you say, superstars, we know that they're hard to guard, but who's that one person that people wouldn't think of that, okay, he ain't that hard to guard, but you ran into him. I don't care who go first.
Shit. Ruben Patterson.
The Kobe stopper.
Ruben Patterson, bro. Like, everybody look at him and they think his career is predicated all defense. Like, I don't care who it is. 1 through 16, 15 on the NBA team, bro. If you give them minutes and they getting the ball, they gonna bust your ass. Like, it's not like you can't take, because you gotta look at it like me and Jeter look at it. Like, me and Jeter weren't superstars for none of our respective teams that we played for. Like, we weren't guys that like they would run a bunch of plays for and all that. So, but like, we both knew that like, if we get this opportunity, like, I'm going at your head, like, whoever you are.
Right.
That's how every dude is past guy number 7.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, 7 through 15, people say what they want and think that like, because a guy ain't get no playing time, he a scrub. Like, it ain't no scrubs in the NBA.
Nope.
None. There's not one scrub in the NBA. I don't care what nobody says. No dude in the NBA can't play. Like, I can go on and on. Like, Ruben Patterson, just one of them. Like, I played against Luke Rittenauer every day in practice. And Luke Rittenauer used to give Flip Murray, Antonio Daniels, he used to give guys the blues. You're talking about a little white dude. He used to give guys blues. Like, another guy, what's his name, man? That was real good.
Seattle? On Seattle?
No, he wasn't on Seattle team. He played in somebody like okay, you look at a guy like on Seattle team, think about it, Flip Murray, right? Yeah. He came out of Shaw.
D2, NAI, CIAA.
Yeah. Like, a lot of people, like, you probably be like, okay, like, he okay, he got a little handle. Like, Flip was averaging like 20-something for a stretch when Ray got hurt. Like, it was like 2 straight months where he didn't score anything less than 20 for 60 days.
Wasn't Ray hurt?
Yeah, Ray was hurt.
I remember that. Ray was hurt. I remember that.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure Jeter can, like he said, he can answer that question too. But like, there's no dude in the NBA that's not good. Like, people just don't, you know what I mean? Like you said, when you walked in the gym, when you saw me, Jay, you was like, who is that? Like, right. I was a pro.
Yeah, you were. And the thing about it, and it was like, okay, I knew you from UGA, but I was like, all right. I mean, me, I'm fresh out of college, so I'm like, whatever. I know I'm gearing to go play too. You know what I'm saying? The first couple buckets, I was like, yo, this is not a scrub. Let me get my life together. And I done played with both of y'all and played against both of y'all. So it's like, I get where you're coming from with that, because if people don't know you, then they don't know you. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all, and I'm like, nah, these cats can get buckets, bro.
Yeah, I played against Jeter before several times. Like, Jeter was one of the toughest matchups that I would have in the city, because he was strong, he had size, he could shoot it, he was athletic as heck. Like you ain't seeing on either one of us, for that matter, on a bunch of NBA billboards or All-Star ballots, but hey, you get out there taking it for granted, thinking it's sweet.
Right.
Like, all the games we wanted to play as pros in the NBA that we didn't get in.
Oh yeah, you come home. Yeah, like, it's time to get it.
Everybody getting it.
It might be, I'll be honest with you, it's a few of them out there that's on that end of that bench that if they had an opportunity to get those minutes, they could give you about 20 a game. It's a few of them out there like that. They just,
Ain't they
Sometimes
roll?
these situations, sometimes coaches don't like you. You know, it's like Paul George. That's how Paul George was sitting at Pine, wasn't really playing much, and then Danny Granger got hurt. Now the dude got his own shoe in Nike. You know,
who was it for you, Rich? Who was it hard to guard for you? That like he said, Ruben Patterson, because like you say, most people think Ruben Patterson is a defensive stopper. Mm-hmm. So who was it for you that you thought that could get buckets that nobody would expect that they can get buckets? Obviously, you say they're good, everybody's good, but who gets them buckets that nobody would expect?
Tierra Brown.
Who?
Oh my God.
Tierra Brown, bucket time. Tierra Brown.
My God.
Oh yeah, I played against him in the D League. Oh yeah, he's
Tierra Brown.
a bucket. Oh God, he's a bucket. Oh my God,
he a walking basket,
yeah.
bro.
He is a basket, dog.
Tierra bucket, man, and he the biggest like comedian too. It's so funny, but like Tierra, his mid range, his handle, his God, man, he had an
awkward shot too, but it's cash.
Like high, like a little hit.
And he didn't play extremely fast. He played at his own pace.
Man, he was tough. Tierra Brown was good, man. Tierra Brown, like, and I be thinking like how it is nowadays, like with like high possessions, scoring and stuff like that. Tierra Brown he would kill in this joint, man. I mean, he was a bucket. He was tough. He's somebody that people don't know about that was a bucket.
He was a basket, bro.
So talk about I try to tell kids when I try to educate some kids about getting to the NBA. Obviously, we know it's only like 460 something spots in the NBA. But I tell them and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I know from my experience in the D League, the basketball part was a very small part. It's all the business aspect, the whole the travel part that's real hard because you travel, you're going to play tonight, you travel that same night, you play the next night. Talk about that travel, man, and how hard of an adjustment it was for you to get adjusted to that, because you go from college and high school playing, high school you're playing 25 to 30 games, college you're playing somewhere between 30 and 35, but now you're playing 82. Talk about that.
I would say, well, Damien played, he played in a Power 5 conference. So y'all had a lot better situation than I did playing from a junior college, and we busted into the games. We busted 6-7 hours. So I'll tell you an experience that may be a little bit off, but I didn't even have a bank account. And I remember our manager came and asked, was just asking for our, account number, routing number, stuff like that. And I was like, well, I'll just take a check, and the check at the time every 2 weeks, it was a lot, what I'm saying, for a league minimum about 20, something like that. And everybody was looking at me like I was crazy, and I'm flying out, I went a whole road trip with a $20,000 check in my pocket, so scared to, cash it, just so scared to open a bank account. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So just that, from the travel to the lifestyle, I just didn't know. I was so uneducated. And Bo Outlaw was the one who really taught me how to, just how to be a pro, how to be an adult. Because I didn't have that guidance. My parents, they didn't have much when I came up. So, just that in general was really foreign to me.
Well,
shoot, man, I'm trying to think of all the experiences that finally made me realize it. I think I would say on my first road trip out of Seattle, we went to LA, and landing and pulling up to the hotel. I remember going in my hotel room and going out on the balcony, like I ain't even have to pay for this shit. Like, I'm looking around like, Like, damn, like I got an envelope of per diem. We was on a 14-day road trip. I got an envelope full of cash with per diem. Like I got like it was like $1,100 in an envelope, cash that ain't even accounted for. Like this for you to eat. And we stand at the Ritz-Carlton, and I'm like, I never want to leave this life. Like I never want this to end. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was then for me. And the crazy thing is, after that trip, I started saving my per diem. So I wouldn't even spend it. Like I spent it all on that trip in like 2 days, I think. But after that trip, I used to save my per diem until the end of the year. So I would just put it in a shoebox. I would sign for it and I put it in a shoebox and I wouldn't touch it until I got home in the summer. And that would be like money I would just hang out with since we on live.
Yes. Because when we get off live, we talk a few stories.
Since we're on live, I just hang out with that bread. But
right.
Bro, it was at that moment for me where I was like, yo, this is real. Like, this real.
Man, would you tell young kids to save their money? Like they talk about Jason Tatum's like he hasn't spent a game check yet. He's like saved all his game checks and he's living off of his endorsements.
Well, a lot of people can say that. Jason Tatum can say that, right? But ain't a whole lot of people got the endorsements to be able to not spend the bread. Like, so that's one way for one guy. Mm-hmm. But shoot, it's other people that's coming in here like that don't have endorsements, don't have endorsement money. Like I had a contract with Adidas my rookie year, but Adidas didn't pay me anything. It was an all merch deal.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So what other money am I gonna live off of?
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's a lot of guys it's more guys like that or like me in my situation than they are in Jason Tatum's situation. A lot of guys ain't getting paid off endorsements or paid enough to not touch their game bread. So yes, save money, but you yourself have to figure out the creative way to do that. But I think it starts with just wants versus needs, bro. Wants versus needs. You got to ask yourself that question every time you walk into any store, every time you get paid. What do I want? And what do I need? And those things, keep those wants to a minimum and keep those needs. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody told me, get 90% of your needs and 10% of your wants, and you'll have everything you need. And that's kind of how I started looking at things, like maybe year 3, year 4 for me.
The toughest thing is, because people don't understand like the amount you got to dish out. You got the dues, you got this, you got that, so like, and on top of that, they don't understand like how heavy you get taxed depending on where you live at. So, a lot of times when people see those contracts, they don't understand like they really ain't like it's not even close to what they see. You know what I'm saying? It's not even close. You're gonna get hit heavy. So then you got, especially when you're young, you ain't never had no money before. And I was telling somebody this the other day, man. I came in, it was me, Dante, Troy Bell, and Theron Smith. We went to the mall in Memphis, and I'm in the mall, and these guys, shoot, they first rounders. I go to the mall and I splurged so heavy. I spent so much money that first time. And I came back to our hotel, and Bo Outlaw, Bo, and Bo sat there, and Bo's like a very frugal guy, super frugal. And he was looking at me like I was crazy, And the conversation came up about like, what are you gonna do like next year? What if you not in the league next year? What if you, shoot, even with this Corona thing? Because I know some dudes struggling heavy, especially if they was in our situation this year. They really count on that last check, especially when you young, you want nice things. You might see, game. You probably seen like Ray Allen spend ridiculous money, like, out in Seattle compared to what you could do, It was the equivalent of me looking at, let's say, Jay Will just signed this $55 million deal the day I got there. And I'm like, man, you just dropped that for a Porsche Panamera, Cayenne. So, that's so important, man. I think the vets got to do a good job, and it's something that's like that. Do a good job of like kind of taking the kid under the wing and say, man, this what you should do. This, this and that. Educate them on the investments and stuff like that. I think that's important for the older players to do more of. Or, some of them in such a good financial situation that, they might mess around and be like, hey, kid, don't even like spend that. I got you. Like, because I know AI did that for Lou Will. He just let Lou Will just stay in his house.
I had that. That's the situation I had.
Yeah.
I ain't buy much my rookie year. Ray Allen, Rashard Lewis, Jerome James. I ain't buy nothing. I just had to be a good rookie.
Yep.
Like I used to walk by, they used to give me their per diem. Here, young fella, take this. Or Jerome James to send me to McDonald's in the morning to get him breakfast biscuits and give me like, here, man, go get me 2 breakfast biscuits and orange juice, and he'll give me $500. And I'm like, it's only gonna be like $7, bro. He like, man, just keep it. Don't worry about that. Like, but those are unique situations, though. You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't a whole lot of AIs now. Ain't a whole lot of those guys, those Jerome James type dudes now. Like, because the money is different for everybody, and everybody understand that. So you got a 15 guy on your roster right now. Depending on how many years he done played, he might be making $2.5 million, and that's like minimum. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that might be the minimum that he making. So it's like you looking at things different, bro. Like when we came in, like the minimum 300,000. You living in Seattle, Washington.
Ooh,
bro. Like there's someone living next to you in a same apartment building that make more than you. Facts. That you don't even know. Like a random Mike. You know what I'm saying? He might be making $500,000. Yep. Like, you know what I mean? So you understood that and your teammates understood that. So, it was different in different times. But I think our biggest issue as a community, especially, is that we come from bad money. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time we come from bad money. We come from bad, uneducated money. Like, it was times back in the day, some odd years ago, where education, for us to get an education, it was illegal for us to even read a book. So we come out of these situations, and the public always wants to make light of or make jokes about guys who go broke, as if like if you got handed that lotto ticket, like you wouldn't go make those same mistakes. Yes. And everyone wants to be like, oh man, I would never lose that. But it's been proven it ain't just pro athletes. Go back and Google the history of people who won the lottery. All those people come from bad money because people with money don't play the lotto. Right. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, if you got it already, you ain't playing the lotto. For what? You got it. And the people who do play the lottery are people who need money. So they gambling. And then they win. And it's like, well, shoot, I don't know what to do with all this bread. Like, all of a sudden you working at Popeyes and now you got $20 million. It's the same, it's equivalent. You talk about a guy that comes from a family who's poverty stricken, and shoot, 95% of the league is black. Yep. And you walk into your first time getting paid, you done made more money than everybody in your family combined on one check. And everybody in debt. And everybody looking at you like, facts. Okay, what we doing? Because I saw what you just signed. And the conversation that you have with someone who don't understand money, it's like blind leading the blind, because you're having a conversation with them and you yourself don't understand your own money. And you're having a conversation about what to do with it with someone who has been generationally doesn't understand money either. So it's not difficult to lose it all, bro. Like, it's not one of those things where, like, I just don't like when people always making like a joke about it with guys because it's like, bro, like you're looking at him as an NBA player as if he's not still a human being.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he don't forget the basketball part of the basketball itself don't make you make money. Mm-hmm. Like I don't care how many this guys now live check to check that
Facts.
play.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's so much pressure on you to be like, take care of everybody. But everybody can tell you what they say, G, to just say no. Like, you can't say no to everybody. Man. I don't care.
Say no.
Yeah, like you can't do it. Like your mom knocking on your door. How you say no to that all the time? Yeah. How you say no to people who you done spent nights at their houses?
Facts.
They done took care of you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like we come from neighborhoods with drug dealers in that neighborhood. They done shot you a couple hundred to help you get to catch the bus to practice. Yes. They come knocking too. Like, yo, I need that back.
Yep.
Like, what you gonna do for me? Like, how you tell all them people no?
It's hard to. It's hard to, man.
That ain't no easy thing to do. It's almost like, you know what? You just accept the fact that I don't know what I'm doing with this money. So I'm just gonna take care of everybody until I can. And then other people who are fortunate enough to have the right people around them, they get in a situation where they get taught how to take care of it. They get taught how to take care of their families and all this stuff. Like almost a lot of the brothers I know that play in the NBA, a lot of them, I'm not saying all of them for a fact, but a lot of the guys I know that do well at taking care of their money come from households who parents know a little something, who probably still together, you know what I mean? Who had jobs. Yeah, who had jobs and, you know, they come from some type of structure. Mm-hmm. But that don't erase the masses, bro. That's a select few. Like, we want to take care of each other. It's in our nature to look out for each other and everything be run like a village. That's our nature as a people. So when I got it, we all got it. Like you don't even have to say it almost in our community. It's an unwritten rule. That's like look at the NFL draft. You watched the NFL draft the other night, right? Most of the white guys that got drafted, they were sitting in the house with both their parents on their side. No crowd, no, you know, it wasn't even a whole lot of excitement. It was just like, okay, good for you. I'm happy for you. Now you're finally, you know, up to the level with us financially. It's like their parents saying this to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, finally, now you're a millionaire like us. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And then you look at all the black guys who got drafted. Like, damn near every one of them, they put a story about, like, how rough their childhood was. Like, it was like a theme.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit, like, it's deeply rooted, bro. Like, you can't, like, these guys out here need help. Like, and they're afraid to say no, bro, because ain't nobody tell them no.
You're going to say no to you know how hard it is to say no to someone you grew up with and you grinded and struggled? And that's a hard thing to do, man. That's a hard thing because they're going to look at you like, you know, the worst, like, kind of person to be called as an athlete is like someone who forgot where they came from. And especially if you're from an area where, you know, those people look at you like you acting Hollywood and brand new. That's why sometimes you see dudes getting robbed. You know, they go back to their own neighborhood and get robbed by the same people that think that they sold out on them, you know, are acting brand new. You know, and that's the biggest fear, man. Like, you know, he's right. You know, it's sad, man. You know, and most of those guys are so young that they're not mature enough to, like, articulate and think things through and try to come up with a solution. Most of them gonna make mistakes. It's impossible to not make mistakes through it. You're going to make mistakes. You're gonna spend money on things and people that you're like, dang, I can't believe it. I can't believe I did that, you know? So it's true, man. He spoke a lot of facts. Very true. Definitely, man.
I want to talk about two interesting matchups that I think both of you may have gotten. We'll start with Kobe. How was it the first time that you got to play against Kobe or play with Kobe? What was that like?
Shoot, my first time playing against him, man. Shoot, I got a picture somewhere hanging in here. The first time I played against him, and he said, I said to him, it was at the free throw line, and I was like, man, like I've been looking up to you for a long time, bro. I just wanted you to know that, like, but also, like, this shit ain't about to be sweet. Like, I know you probably smelled blood when I just said what I said, but like, I'm not afraid of your ass. Like, and he was like, okay, young fella. But then I was like, but look, like, in all honesty though, like, how do you get good? Like, besides work ethic, besides staying in the gym, like all that stuff, what is it that you're studying? And when did you know you turned the corner as a player? So he talked to me, he said, you know what? Just wait until the game slow down for you. He said, right now, everything moves 100 miles per hour for you because you're coming from college, everything is fast. He was like, but when the game slow down, that's like for you and you notice that it slowed down, he said, that's when you turn the corner in how productive you can be playing the game. And he was like, so yeah, just keep that in mind and just know I'm about to get the ball down here. And it's gonna be real slow to me, but it's gonna be fast to you. And I said, damn. And he went on and, I think he had like 38, something like that. But, he hated Ray Allen. So
He did.
He hated Ray. So he was going to play well that night anyway. That just happened to be the first couple possessions I was guarding. But I remember he told me that. And he said it. He said, I'm about to get the ball. It's going to be real slow to me. But it's going to seem real fast to you. And I was like, all right, bro, whatever. Sure enough, he went down the other end and chopped me right up, like real methodical, like footwork me to death. And it was like,
he got that.
I said, man, this dude is too good, man.
Tough, man. When I came right after the draft, I flew in and I went to the hotel, Hilton Garden, right behind the practice facility, Hill South. Checked in the hotel, came in, with Luke and them, and was getting ready for summer league. And they was like, oh, we'll wait till tomorrow. We'll just have practice. I was like, oh, man, I want to go to the facility and check it out. I saw some pictures with trophies and all that stuff. Because you've been in LA facility, it's just different.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how the new one is, but the old one, you look up, you see some trophies up there. It's just a different environment. And Kobe in there. Kobe there shooting. I'm like, dang. I'm sitting there looking, and I walk through, meet Phil and Mitch and them guys. And I lace up, get my shoes on and stuff like that. And I'm on the other side or whatever. And he was like, hey, come here, young fella. Pass him the ball, boom, boom, boom. He was doing all left-hand stuff. Left hand. I think he did something to his shoulder or something. Like a mini torn labrum. Shooting and stuff like that. And I was like, man, you want me to play a little bit of defense on you a little bit? To kind of get your juice flowing. I wanted to see how.
Hey, he was poking that bear, Jay.
Yeah, you walked into that one. You walked
poking that bear. I ain't asking that. Nah, bro, I got you.
You took a knife to a gunfight, boy. You was tripping.
Hey, man, this dude, like the whole time, bro. And defensively, I don't think people understand how great a defender he is. But it started off with me just guarding him, and he did all these left-hand turnaround moves and one dribble pull-ups. I'm like, God, dog. Like, I'm thinking he's going to probably miss a few. Like, I can't shoot that many shots left-hand like that easy. And I'm like, dang. So then we eventually, he was like, man, let's play some ones, whatever. And this dude, hands were so and physical, beating you up, can't call foul now. Just destroyed me, man. That was my first time. The next time I saw him, I didn't match up against him, but that was my personal experience with Kobe. Just to see him, how he work out, And with his offhand and how he just, this is my first first experience as a pro. I was so defeated when I went back to that hotel. I was like, I don't even know if I'm good enough to even play. I called my agent. I said, man, I just think it's cold. He just destroyed. I went back to the gym that night and I shot like at least, it was for 3 hours. I was just shooting by myself. I was like, there's no way I can be this sorry. There's no way. I mean, man, that was my first experience with him, man. And, just see him working out so hard, man, on that, he hurt that right shoulder. And every day he shoot with his left hand. I just couldn't believe it. It was something I'd never seen before. And I seen all the best. I ain't never seen anybody do a whole workout just making left hand shots like it's a regular jump shot. But that was my first experience, man. He had my head messed up after that, man.
I got to experience Kobe because when I was in the D League with them, we had the Kobe rule. So like our shoot around on game day could be at like 8:30, but we had to be on the court by 9:30 because it was Kobe time. So Kobe came in, and Derek Fisher wasn't far behind him, but Kobe came in and just started shooting the college three. And I'm talking about he made like 30 in a row, didn't miss one. He missed one, and then he made another 30 in a row. But when I actually got to have a conversation with him, because I had a little bit of knowledge of Derek Fisher because my daughter's aunt and Derek Fisher went to high school together, so he knew I was coming out there. I knew his mom. And, man, I got to talk to him and Derek Fisher in the locker room, in their training room. And our coach was like, man, you can't be in there. Coach was like, he with us. We good. You go and chill out, coach. We got him right now. We teaching the young fella something. And that day right there, I was like, all right, Kobe's like really a cool dude until if you don't know him. And then, he was in our locker room getting a haircut. He gave me a pair of shoes because that's when he first came out with those low cuts. So like, man, people don't realize like that dude's work ethic was like major.
Yeah, it was.
It ain't but so many people can make you feel like you're not good enough.
Oh yeah. Like he made me feel like yeah, man, I can't shoot. That like
he make you feel like you're not good enough. Like that's how good he is. Like I don't think I played against a person more fundamentally sound than he was. Like I don't think there's ever been anyone that I've played against. Like I've had some tough covers. Paul Pierce, Tracy McGrady, Joe Johnson, Bron.
Talk about Joe.
Yeah, he a dog. Joe was 6'8", 240 playing the two.
Yeah.
Like,
I got to play with him in Little Rock, dog. And that's when I met him. I got to play on the summer league team. The first year we went undefeated. And the second year, I think we lost one game in 2 years together. Like, it was one game. I just got caught up in the middle of the game. I just sat there like this. And I was on the court. And I was like, he's an NBA All-Star. Like, and he's fading away at the three-point line. Like it's nothing. I'm like, he's an NBA All-Star. I was like, coach, call timeout because I'm lost in the game, dog. Like
Joe probably one of those guys that I played against, I would say, could get like 20 easier than anybody I probably ever played against. You know what I'm saying? Like Kobe, we know Kobe, right? Like Kobe will get you. Kobe, he ain't going for 20. Like Kobe going for 40 and 50. So every basket he take is loud.
Right.
Like you know when Kobe got the ball because he gonna give you a whole lot. It ain't ever gonna be simple. It's gonna look complicated, but it's gonna be super fundamental.
Right.
Whereas Joe just come down and just quiet, like give you 20, and like you look up, he got 20, and he hadn't started sweating yet.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a whole quarter and a half left. Like it's like, damn, bro, like you got 20? And this was like an every night thing, bro. And like you won't hear from him. It was, like I said, real quiet. Like even the points be quiet. And then
you don't get enough respect.
Man.
Joe don't.
But here's the thing about Joe. Joe don't talk.
Yeah, he don't.
Like he may talk. Like the only person I ever seen him talk junk with was Sergio Gibson, because him and Teddy played together at Arkansas, so they were getting each other's junk a little bit.
Yeah, Gibson, yeah.
Yeah, but like even when we was playing in that summer league, like he don't talk. He just looked at you. He looked at me one time, like, JB, I'm finna get buckets. I was like he don't talk. Like he just gives you buckets, shake your hand, tell you good game, you play hard, man, keep working hard, and gonna go on to the next game. Like he was just real smooth, and to be able to move like that at 6'8", 240. I mean, I know we talk about LeBron, but Joe is
just
like
as strong and big as LeBron. People don't know that.
he was Joe made what, 10 All-Star games at least?
Legit.
Did you see how he torched the big three though?
Yeah.
That wasn't fair though.
Yeah.
That wasn't fair. He had no business in that.
No. He should primarily still be in the league. And if he's gonna torch the big three in this summer, if they get the play, like you can't stop him because he has range that can go 3 to 4 or 5 feet behind the 3-point line.
Well,
you can't stop that.
He got a great game too. He's another one that got, he rocks you to sleep. He puts you to sleep in his game. It's like he's so big and strong. Like I don't think he's strong.
Country strong.
You talk about what you said earlier. I didn't respect nobody. I knew who Joe was when I got to Little Rock, but the first time I actually had to guard him, like on the perimeter, I didn't stand a chance. Like in the post, I was a big body, so I could bang with him. He still scored, but I could bang with him. But on that perimeter, his first step was so fast that it was like, he just went by me, and I'm still trying to get my stance.
I had 41 on him though. I tell him that every time I see him. I had that.
When you put 40 pieces in?
When I played with Seattle, Joe was playing for Atlanta. I had 41. I came to Atlanta, I had 41. I was 15 for 20 from the field, Jack.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Rich, talk about your overseas experience, man, because I think some people don't give the overseas experience enough credit. I know I enjoyed my time over there, but talk about it that you were on.
The demand is really high. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta, 2-a-days practice. And I don't care whether you the best player on the team or the last player on the team, you're gonna do the same thing. You ain't gonna get treated special. You're gonna come to every film session. Sometimes the travel may not be as nice as it is in the States. It's some great competition. I mean, it's a lot of guys that, I know that play over there, that's good enough to play in the league, some by choice, some by not. I played in a lot of places, had a lot of teammates. The difference between, like, if you're in the NBA, you got a lot of guys who may play for the same team like 5 years in a row, 4 years in a row, sometimes their whole career. Over there, you rarely, I could probably count on my hand how many guys played like that long for the same team. Off top, I can name maybe 5 guys. So each year is you got to perform, because if you don't, your market value goes low, and you got to win. They respect guys who win championships over there too. So and that was there wasn't a bad adjustment, because my first year in Europe, I was already used to playing a role, and I came on a really good team. So, I naturally kind of fit into it. They didn't need me to get 20. All I did was play defense and hit open shots. So, that was a good adjustment. I mean, you got some leagues where they do want you to score a lot, mostly on like top tier, like European clubs. You're going to kind of play your role. You're not going to play too much. You might have a game where you might play 5 minutes. You might get a DNP, but you might have a guy making $2 million a year. They get a DNP on a game that just don't matter to him. You know what I'm saying? compared to when I played in Asia, where I had to bring 25, 30 a night. I had to bring it every single night. So but I got a chance to just, I got a lot of good teammates I had over the years. Luckily I won a lot. So I'm still good friends with, every team I won a championship with. I still have a relationship with them. So I enjoyed it, man. I wouldn't change my storybook for anything. I always share this with kids all the time. I had opportunities to go back to the show, and I don't have any regrets. But if I had a chance to give advice to another kid, they wouldn't make the same mistakes I did. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like I could have went on faith and took a non-guaranteed deal, go to training camp with a team, and try to get back in. But I didn't believe in myself. And I think if it was a kid and I'm giving advice to, like D. Wilk had that belief in him, he's like, look, I'm gonna make the league. He told his agent, I'm making the league. I don't think in my mentality back then, I don't think I would have done that.
Right.
And I always recommend kids to believe in themselves and not doubt themselves, because you never know what can happen. I mean, D. Wilk ended up having a great long career, man. You know what I'm saying? Because he believed in himself and, he didn't second guess. And that's what, I always tell that to kids.
D, what would be your advice to give some of these youngsters today trying to make it to the league or trying to just make it, period?
Man, I would just, me, G to know me, I put my head down and I went to work. Like that's all I would do. I stayed in the gym, man. I stayed in the gym. I never felt like I was good enough. Like I always used to say, the minute I get comfortable, it's time for me to start working harder. Like it's gonna be a trap or a setup. So I made it a goal every summer. I knew I could get better in where I was because there was so many guys living around here that hooped all the time. So my goal was I'm gonna be the best in the city. Like I'm gonna be the best player to come out the city this summer. When the summer over with, I wanted the whole city to be saying my name. That was the goal every summer. So if that allowed me not to take a whole lot of time off, like not to get comfortable. Because it was guys that was too good in the city. Jeter was in the city. Josh was in the city. Lou was in the city. Shump was in the city. Jack was in the city. Like all these dudes that played.
Well, that Atlanta program was jumping. I remember.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I always took on that challenge personally. Like I always wanted to be the best there was. Like all those guys that would play against me, then they'll tell you, like it was never any moments where I was letting up. Like I was coming to get you. You had to work, and I was gonna let you know. Like because, like I said, I wanted guys to walk away from playing me like, yo, I ain't know he was that good. Like that was the best. That was the gratification that I wanted every time I played against people. I want them to be like, damn, I ain't know he was that good.
I know.
I personally seen with my own eyes, and not many people can say this. And I don't know if D Will probably remembers. And I personally seen him and his pops working out. I'm talking about, man, he worked on his game so hard, and when he first started playing and run and shoot, working out so hard on his game, man. I was sitting like, man, this dude really, because it was a time when I first met D. Wilk, he wasn't as in shape and lean as he is now. He lost a lot of weight, and he really worked on his body and worked on his game. Like he grinded. And I seen that with my own eyes. I had a great appreciation for it, for him, because I personally seen him transform his whole game, his body, and all of that. Because, bro, like I'll be honest with you, when you was, I mean, how much you weighed when you came out, when you first came out? Huh?
Wait, unmute, D.
My bad. I was like 225, 226.
And you trimmed up, man.
And I got down, I trimmed up. Like that's the first thing my dad told me. He was like, you can't play on the perimeter that size in the NBA. He was like, not in the NBA. He was like, I know Georgia wanted to put all that weight on you. like to make you heavier and bigger so you can play, you know, against forwards. Like I was guarding Chuck Hayes in college. You know what I'm saying? So like I was guarding all the bigger players. Coach Harris would put me on all the bigger players because of my toughness mentality. So like I was like, Coach, I can't. Like you trying to protect Jarvis and them. I can't do this. Like I can't. This ain't who I am. So my dad told me, he said, don't worry about it. Just do what you gotta do. When we get out of school, we're gonna fix that. First thing we did, bro, is we got on the track. And every day I used to have to run a mile before we worked out. And that time had to be different. Every day that time had to get better. So eventually I got down to like 214 in less than like 2 months. And from there, that's when my game just kind of took off. So I stayed working at it, man. Like I worked on every aspect of my game. Like I did not want weaknesses, bro. I worked on everything. And I didn't necessarily get to show all of that when I was playing, because that just wasn't ever my role. It wasn't gonna ever be what they needed from me as a player. But what that did do was keep me around longer because I was always ready when I got called.
Yeah, I know when I met you. But no, let me do this. I appreciate everybody tuning in for this edition of Full Press with Coach J. We having two of my good friends on. I've asked them all the questions I need to ask them. I'm gonna take them off live, and we're gonna have some conversation with just us. But I thank y'all for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can drop them in this comment under this video. I'll be sure they get them and get you an answer and talk about them. Appreciate y'all again for tuning in. Hold on, Rich, and don't go off.